there's all these important considerations when you're performing material activity, even the Vedic material activities. You have to say the mantra just right. You know, what did he say? Discrepancies regarding time, place, the person, the paraphernalia. Was it
got
all
the wrong paraphernalia?
You got the wrong paraphernalia.
I used a metal spoon, got to use a wooden spoon.
Yeah, it says copper spoon, not
Copper spoon. You put in coconut oil, you got to put ghee in there.
Yeah, right. So all of those.
Use neem wood. You use some crazy wood.
Yes.
Pine.
Yes. So there can be there's so much potential for faults. But when it comes to bhakti, when one chants the Lord's name for no material purpose, but when divine love is the only goal, then it becomes faultless. And again, we're brought back to, like our nugget, where we're discussing that it's not perfection that you need here in this, right?
Good boy. You went full circle with that. Brought
Brought
it right back to the old
tap on the head there. Right? Good boy.
Gonna open your third eye while I'm at
it. But it's not about perfection. It's not about that kind of in a sense, when you get to the level of bhakti, those details become trivial. It's not what touches the heart of the Supreme, who's the ultimate controller. What touches him is that sincerity.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Sridham, Mayapur in West Bengal, India, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior presenter, educator. You changed your title.
You changed it.
I changed it? I didn't change your title.
To presenter?
I didn't put presenter in there.
Oh, I didn't either.
And co-host and senior presenter, educator? I don't even know what that means. What are you presenting?
I didn't put that there. That's not me.
All right, senior educator. We're going to go back to the old one. Mara, you erase that. Senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York. Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Mayapur. It's episode 1529, and today is February 4th, 2025. Woo, we're here live with the crew. We call them the Mayapur stragglers. They're just straggling along. We told them, hey, the pilgrimage is over. You really should go home. They're like, we're going to stay.
But we really think you ought to go home.
But we think.
We're going to stay.
But they're around, and we like having them around.
We do.
It's sort of fun. We're here, just sort of like recovering from yesterday was the last, sort of the goodbye morning breakfast. And then we just sort of my body just fell apart, but I'm recovered, feeling strong.
You know what I think some of the stragglers are discovering, and we're discovering with them?
What?
Is you can just live here, right? It's like, in other words, there doesn't have to be anything particularly different than any other day. You can go to the temple in the evening and just, hear the kirtan and chant some extra rounds and take darshan of Radha Madhava and just be in ecstasy. It doesn't really require anything more.
The weird thing is,
what is it?
It's like, religion, spirituality is not a part-time job.
Oh, there's your daughter calling.
My daughter's calling. Come on, you can't just call. Can you put my phone on? Oh, you know what? She's got the special thing where even if it's on Do Not Disturb, she gets through.
How do I? Could you? I'm going to write to her and figure out how to get on that.
Can I give you that permission? Because whenever Kaustubha calls me, I'm on Do Not Disturb.
Always.
Sorry, I love you.
Thank you. I'll just get it from her.
Okay. Anyway, my point is that spirituality is not like a part-time gig. It's not like you're there doing it for an hour a week,
Sunday,
an hour a week. Yeah. We want to go see Krishna every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the morning and the evening. We want to wind down our day with Krishna. We want to wake up to Krishna. Matter of fact, and Linda's been doing this. She's been going to Mangal Artik every morning with Narayani.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know which one is the good.
Who's dragging who out of bed?
Who's dragging the other? Generally, one is dragging the other. But I will say this.
None of them are saying anything. There are a couple poker faces.
When you get addicted to Mangal Artik, it makes no material sense why you want to wake up early and run to see Krishna. It's very, very exciting. And so you want to check in with Krishna. And you see this at these old temples established in India, like, say, Radha Govinda in Jaipur. People are going, they're checking in with Govinda. in the course of the day for lunch. What are you doing for lunch? Oh, I'm going to go see Govindaji.
Yeah.
It's like Govinda is their friend.
Yeah.
Govinda is their lover. Govinda is their buddy. You want to just check in.
It's amazing how the practices in bhakti, some of them are so simple. There's a chapter in the Chaitanya Bhagavat about Sri Chaitanya going to the home of one of his devotees, and that devotee makes him some spinach and some rice and then feeds him, and Sri Chaitanya feels ecstasy, and then the devotee feels ecstasy, and that's the end of the chapter. You know, it's like it's yeah. And it's like, you know, there are huge festivals built around something as simple as, today we're going to take Radha and Krishna, we're going to put them on this little swing
And swing them.
and we're going to swing them, you know. But if
you actually analyze that from a material perspective, it's insane.
okay.
It's like, what are you doing?
But
All of you are doing grown-up Barbie together.
but what it is that it's actually what this practice. There's so many forms of yoga, but if you really study these texts, you'll see that they all are building to a culmination, which is where your heart melts and you feel genuine loving sentiments for that being from whom all of this is coming from. And through that, for every other living being in the world. And so when you put Radha and Krishna on that swing and they're swung, rather than, you know, we watch movies to feel these kind of sentiments, or we read books, or we, you know, we seek sources of entertainment to feel some kind of sentiment. But in once, not that there's anything wrong with movies or film or something if it's used in a progressive way, but in one sense, in India, they've known for centuries, you can build a temple, it can be simple, it can be super ornate, but it's all about the sentiments that are being expressed there. And what you can feel is something very, very deeply satisfying. And, you know, when we're here in Mayapur, it's kind of like you're in a community where there's just like hundreds and thousands of people that are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you know, we had to take you know, Chapu had an incident where she got a real high fever. We had to take her to the doctor.
Yeah.
And then and so there's one nurse there that was really sweet and took really good care of her. And then we were at like 8:15 last night. We were before Radha Madhava and the Astasakis, massive, huge, and everybody there is just staring at them and feeling bliss. And then that doctor bumped into her. It's like, you're the doctor. You know? and we all feel the same bliss here together. You know, like we're in another context, but right here we're all together and we're all feeling, I'm feeling it, you're feeling it. I can feel that you're feeling it. And now we feel connected.
Right.
You know?
No, because we're on social media, you know, of course, in our, what's it called? Our scrolling, like kirtans will come up. Like, I'm trying to wonder like what non-devotees think of when they see a bunch of kirtans just coming up like that. Like, what do these guys do? Because it looks fun. It's fun. You know, and I told this story before on the show, but I'll say it again because I think it's funny and interesting. When I married my ex-wife, she had 2 little boys, and I didn't really know anything about raising kids, so I just taught them the Mahabharata. And we moved to the Watsika, which is right across from the Los Angeles Temple. And, you know, every morning we would go to the temple, you know, for greeting the deities. It was a little ritual, Guru Puja.
The temple programs.
The temple morning program.
That they have.
And then and the Sunday fee. And then the restaurant at that time was so cheap. It was like $6 for all you could eat.
Right.
And you'd get a big salad bar and subjis. And it was like, so anyway, and then the evening kirtan was the evening kirtan was like unofficial. Like in the morning, it's very official. Okay, women stand here, men stand here. The evening kirtan was just like kids just running around and one person just singing and everybody. It was so sweet because you didn't have to be there. You just went because you wanted to be there.
Right.
And so we ended up going to the temple a lot. And I remember the father of the boys asked me, "How you guys live in Watsika Avenue, huh?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Isn't that by that Hare Krishna temple?"
That's sort of.
I was like, "Yeah, it's near. It's on that block."
So it's directly across.
Did you ever go to that Hare Krishna temple? And I was like, "Yeah, we stopped by." He goes, how often would you say you bring the boys by the Hare Krishna temple? And I was like, well, let's see. We go in the morning. We go to dinner every night. Sometimes we'll go for lunch. We go to the Sunday feast. Sometimes there's a festival. I don't want to sound like a fanatic. I'll say
Why
twice
don't
a
you
week.
ask us when we're not there?
It's one of those things. It's like, but it's not weird either. It's not weird. As a matter of fact, for me, going to church, it was a little weird. It was like a little, all right, I'll go. You know what I mean? I'll wear this. The kids would like love dressing up. They love putting on, my kids, they're 19. They still love putting on T-lock. I'm not saying every kid is like that, but it's very kid friendly. It's very fun. It's almost like a big carnival.
Yeah.
You know, and here we are. It's like a carnival. And you see so many like local families coming with like families are here and they dress up, you know, they dress up. It's like a whole thing. And there's food and snacks and sweets and God. It's like nice, pious kids.
All right.
You could do it all the time. And you don't feel weird.
No, when your heart is set in the right place and you kind of let go of so much of our baggage,
Yeah.
we find satisfaction in very simple ways.
No, we just had lunch at Janeshwar's.
Okay.
And speaking of satisfaction with simple ways, here's Janeshwar.
Yeah.
A guy who grew up in like the slums of Mumbai.
Right.
Now he's got a flat. He lives there with his wife. They just had a baby. He's there with his mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, they just have a new baby.
Yeah.
And they're like, please come over every day, 3 times a day if you want to come over to eat. I was like, oh, I don't even eat 3 times a day. He's like, all right, just come over for lunch. How about lunch? Will you come over for lunch? I was like, well, I'm hanging out with Mara. Bring Mara. Okay. Well, we're having a meeting with bring Linda. It's like, so it's just like we had me, Mara, Linda, Jiva coming over. They're making us like a multi-course meal, and they would do it 3 times a day if we asked them. They've invited us 3 times a day, but they've got layers of backup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've got a mother, they've got a grandmother and a grandfather. So the baby's great grandparents are there, and they're all just interacting with that baby. I remember when I had a toddler, I was like, ex-wife's passing the top, take the baby. Okay. Because there's no parents around, because we isolate ourselves from our family. We raise our kids in the middle of nowhere, you know, and then we got to pay a nanny, or we put the kid in daycare all day with people who not oftentimes, but sometimes
may not care.
couldn't care less. It's just like a gig for them. Right. And and I'm seeing that baby playing with the grandparents, seeing that baby getting passed around a lot. The baby's completely right, Mara? Say it. Come here, Mara. Get back on the screen here.
That baby's the most peaceful, happy baby maybe I've ever met.
Yeah, just peaceful, happy baby. Like, we'll have no psychological issues of abandonment, trauma, you know, loss. Just like a peaceful, happy baby. I remember hearing the baby cry. Just like nodding a lot.
We were telling Janeshwar the other day, it's like, look at you. Like, Krishna's giving you everything. You grew up in the real slums of Mumbai. Like Slumdog Millionaire. Like, oh, there we go. So yeah, we're back. We
We're
have
back.
those-
Thumbs up, please.
Yeah, everybody there. Okay.
Okay,
good.
thank you.
So I was just saying, you know, Janeshwar's like he's a man that's got everything. He's got
everything.
He's got a large what do they call that kind of family? Like
Extended
family. He's got a thriving occupation as a photographer. He's got a beautiful apartment in a beautiful place. He's got a beautiful child now. It's like he's got it all. You know, he's got his whole family adores him. He's got all kind of meaningful service to do.
He's not in debt.
It's not in debt. Yeah, he didn't go into debt, you know, to get some occupation that doesn't pay. He's like, you know, he's in one sense his needs are simple, but that's just simple family stuff. But we're all really happy because we all share this spiritual thing together. You know, it breaks down all the division. It's because we're all resonating on the spiritual level that all the divisions that get in between generations, that get in between siblings, that get in between families, you know, there's none of that because everyone's connected on the spiritual level, which means I'm a soul, you're a soul, and we're all connected to Radha and Krishna, and we can all go stand in their temple and look at them and feel happy. You know, It doesn't really require anything more.
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
All right. Why don't we check in with Mara G?
Hey, Mara, got any announcements for us? Hi.
Our show is at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time all this week. And also, have you checked out our Sage community platform?
Oh, yeah. It's worth checking out.
Checked it out. Checked it out.
Wisdom of the Sages has been helpful in your life and you'd like to contribute to our work, please log on to wisdomofthesages.com and become a supporting member of the Sage community platform. For a minimum $5 monthly contribution or maximum donation of whatever your heart desires, you get access to a wide range of live and archived classes, a community chat, merchandise, retreat registrations, and much, much more.
So they can give whatever. They can give thousands if they wanted to per month.
They can, if that's what they like. They can, if they
Good.
feel it's worth it.
It's good to know.
Millions.
Well, maybe they're not getting anything out of it. That's why they're not giving.
That's it. Yeah. But
Thank you for
I
those.
think we'll start dropping so many of our talks here in Mayapur. Start to
Oh,
drop
yeah.
those.
Yeah, that was nice. Okay, sir.
All right.
Where
We
we
got a
take
nugget.
this?
We got a nugget from American novelist and nonfiction writer Anne Lamott.
Anne Lamott.
Yeah. Want me to read it? You're gonna read it.
You can read it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Anne Lamott says, "I do not at all understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we are, but does not leave us where it found us."
Do explain, Buddha.
Well, shall I read it again? I want to hear from you too.
Okay.
I do not at all understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we are, but it does not leave us where it found us. Grace meets you where you're at. This is something, within the different lineages of bhakti, they acknowledge that we have an effort to put in this spiritual practice, but that it also is largely dependent on grace. We've talked in the past about it. Bhakti lineage,
The monkey and the cat.
the monkey and the cats. Yeah, there's kind of like two branches of their lineage, and one emphasizes more the effort that the yogi has to put in, the effort that the bhakti yogi has to put in on an individual level.
Cat's grabbing the kitten by the nape.
No. That's the one that's actually, the kitten doesn't have anything to do. It's the monkey. It's not the parents. It's the babies that it's being.
Okay, so the kitten does nothing.
So yeah, that's the grace.
That's the grace. That means the kitten's just sitting there, and the mother cat just grabs it by the nape, drags you around.
It moves by the grace of the mother.
The monkey is actually sitting on the back like a piggyback.
Or commonly they're underneath, even holding on with their arms and legs underneath.
Sometimes underneath, yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes on back, sometimes underneath, depending on the baby.
Okay, and the mother.
Mother.
So, but all recognize that grace is important, and some really emphasize is bhakti's not. When we're speaking about this a little yesterday, it's not about climbing a ladder. It's not, I'm going to climb up to reach the divine. It has to do with realizing that the divine is coming down to us. It's like a descending process. It's already descended. The grace is descended in Krishna's names. The grace has descended in the form of the sacred text. The
spiritual information.
The spiritual that comes through the guru. Yeah, like it's coming down. And really and our ability to connect with it is not dependent on our strength or our perfection. Even if we're very imperfect, even if we're, as we say, like dented cans in so many ways, even if we lack abilities, the ability to chant mantras perfect, the abilities to memorize shlokas, the abilities, so many technical abilities we may be entirely lacking in. But it's really all about the state of the heart. It has everything to do with the sincerity in one's approach. And then you connect to the grace that's already there. And so she's saying, I don't understand the mystery of grace, but I know that it meets us where we're at. It's not, grace isn't something that you climb up to. Grace is something that you recognize, oh my God, it's coming down to me. And then you feel a sense of gratitude and appreciation, and you become receptive to it. And it starts to flow in you, flow through you. That's something special. So she says it meets us where we're at, but it doesn't leave us where we're found. You feel profound transformation through it.
And it's probably why we feel in this sort of mechanistic, atheistic view of reality there's a natural depression. Like, I got to overcome all these obstacles myself. That's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so lost as it is.
Yeah.
You understand that there is a climb, but there's also and I'm deep down the hole, damn it.
Mhm.
You know, I'm deep down the hole. I've created a canyon of like negative numbers that I'm in with my crazy behavior from this life and a previous life, the dented cans of the West. But as I'm climbing out there's ladders getting, those fire ladders that getting thrown down to me by
Throwing a
grace.
rope down.
Throwing rope down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be reading more about Prahlāda right now. Prahlāda is saying, we're from the dynasty that is like, it's known for its dedication against Lord Vishnu, and somehow Lord Vishnu is coming and giving us more grace. It's really an important way to think about the practice of bhakti yoga, is that there are these manifestations of what we would call grace or prasad, mercy. It's there in the sacred text. It's there, like in Bhagavatam. It's there in the names of God, especially, right? That you can chant them and be transformed. It's there in the association of the other Vaishnavas. It's there in the temple. It's so many. It's there in the holy places. And so really what it's all about is, how do I remove whatever's in myself that's blocking it? Right? What are the blockers here? We talk about a lot of the stuff that we talk about on the show is just about letting go of that kind of, maybe there's resentments, all kind of resentment in my mind that prevents, that blocks me. Maybe I'm filling my mind up with so much trivial matter that I have no space left for the spiritual grace that's flowing, maybe there's certain ways that I'm speaking or acting or so on that are like hardening myself to that grace. And so then it just becomes a question of letting go of those things and then feeling it, like feeling it. And so when what we were talking about earlier, that we can just stand in a temple and look at those forms and just feel bliss. We could have felt it at any time. It's just that there's something in us that's in the way. And it's just a question of having I suppose the conviction, but also just like maybe a little bit of courage, maybe a little bit of conviction, maybe just a little bit of ability to look at oneself very honestly and say, this isn't me. I don't need this. It's not protecting me. It's not serving any valuable purpose. I just need to let go. Yeah.
Like it.
All right. Shall we read
What was her name again?
Anne Lamott.
Lamott.
Anne Lamott. We have a couple fans here, both Linda and Mara.
You're an Anne Lamott fan?
A little bit.
Where do you hear of Anne Lamott from?
Well, you don't know what it's Anne Lamott.
Oh, you read books. Excuse me. I read Dixie Riddle Cups, okay? Jesus, guys. Because we read books. That's how.
That's how.
Oh, God. Anyway.
That one hit a nerve. It's okay, Baba Ganesh. It's okay.
Naranam namaskrityanam chaivan rotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Before we start reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam,
we don't read. We do read.
Before we recite it, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes. With the torchlight of knowledge, I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Boom.
Canto 8.
Canto 8. You got to click on Canto 8, chapter 23, and we're in the text 1. No, we're not. We're in text 7.
So
text 7.
Prahlāda, the great devotee born in the demoniac lineage, is now speaking to Lord Vishnu.
If you're new to this, it's the famous story of the lion human avatar of Vishnu, ferocious, when he was a little boy. Now he's grown up. He's a grandfather. And his grandson is getting persecuted.
Not anymore.
He
That's
was
done. Yeah,
persecuted.
was. Or
He's
in a
accepted his
sense.
position. He's actually a great soul.
And they've just been given this like heavenly planet to live on, beyond a heavenly planet to live on.
Yeah.
And I think that Vishnu is about to say, I'm going to be there all the time too. We'll be together. But meanwhile, Prahlāda is praying.
So this is Prahlāda's prayers. O supreme shelter of everyone, great personalities like Brahma enjoy their perfection simply by tasting the honey of rendering service at your lotus feet. But as for us, who are all rogues and debauchees born of an envious family of demons, how have we received your mercy? It has been possible only because your mercy is causeless.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. In others, he's saying what Anne Lamott said. I don't understand this grace, right? I do not at all understand the mystery of grace, only that it meets us where we're at. Even though I was born in this demonic family, somehow you're favoring us so much. Causeless. There's no external cause. We expect to see some external causes to any kind of, if there's a result, there has to be like an external cause. Vishnu doesn't respond to those same kind of external causes. Oh, you achieve a certain level of power or fame or wealth or so. I'll respond to that. No, it's nothing like that.
Okay. Text 8. Oh, my Lord, your pastimes are all wonderfully performed by your inconceivable spiritual energy. And by her perverted reflection, the material energy, you have created all the universes. As the supersoul of all living entities, you are aware of everything, and therefore you are certainly equal toward everyone. Nonetheless, you favor your devotees. This is not partiality, however, for your characteristic is just like that of a desired tree, which yields everything according to one's desire. You know, they speak about desire trees so much, they're real. It's just like a desire, if like if I was to say something like, the guy drives a Volkswagen, I drive a Volkswagen. So, they're talking about desire trees like they're just very common, like a maple tree.
It speaks, I find this verse speaks, it's saying that you're equal to everyone. Well, if God is equal to everyone, why do we see so many people in so many different kind of circumstances? And it's saying that, here's saying a desire tree. People may have different circumstances if they're all under a desire tree because their desires are different, right? But everybody's getting their desire fulfilled.
Well, maybe people will say, "Are you kidding? I'm dying of whatever. How is that my getting desire fulfilled?" Smart guy.
Well, it has to do with, it's not that
I have chronic disease.
Yeah,
my heart's been broken.
I understand.
I've lost my hair. Did I desire that? No.
No, but what you desired was independence, and then that came with it. That was actually part of the grace that came along with it. We've talked about this before, but again, if I created a virtual reality for you, and you got deep into it, and you got lost in it, and I knew it's not healthy for you to be in there. You've got a better life out here.
No, I want to play the game. I want to play the virtual reality.
That's the problem. I can't just take you out of it because you still desire to be in it.
So it's the parent and the teenager. And the teenager's like, I know, Mom. I know. No, I'm serious. You got to be careful out there. There's this going to happen. It's going to be icy on the roads out there. And there's going to be older guys at the party. And I know. It's just like, all right. And after a while, the parent's like, you know what? They got to figure this out on their own.
Yeah.
And then they've entered into the world of free will.
Right.
I mean, actually, they've entered into the world of cause and effect.
Yes, that's right. That's what you desired, so you can have it. I don't think I was on the show that I was talking about this, but there's that incredible scene in the book Siddhartha, where Siddhartha, right at the beginning of the book by Hermann Hesse, Siddhartha, a very famous book. But
I've read that one.
Have you read that?
Linda.
It's a book. It's a thing that it's printed on paper. Yeah, then you open it up. And so Siddhartha, early on, a young man who's he's got this strong spiritual drive.
Mm.
And he's being raised by a father who's like a Brahmin, but maybe not with the same depth of urgency in his spiritual life. And so right at the beginning of the book, Siddhartha decides, I have to leave this town. I have to get out of my home. I need to wander off with the mendicants who go into these deep practices. And so these mendicants in the book, they call them the samanas, right?
The what?
Samanas.
Samanas.
Which I guess means they're even-minded, right? Hot or cold.
The samanas, they're
yeah,
equal. They're even. They're like the same samana.
So the way that he's such a brilliant writer, and what he conveys in such a small amount of spaces. Yes.
Yes, he is. One of my favorites.
I relish his writings regularly. And so Siddhartha, his father's like sitting down with his back to him, performing, kind of completing his evening rituals. And Siddhartha comes and stands behind him without saying anything. And his father, once he's completed, he can feel the presence of his son back there. And he says, you have something to say? Like this, right? You really see, like, these are people that they just had clearer mind, that there's like no wasted words here,
Right.
You have something to say? And he says, yes. Tomorrow I will leave with the samanas. And his father, rather than just, what would a typical modern American, what are you talking about? Yeah.
You're doing those guys.
You would immediately react.
Right.
So the father's just silent for a moment and thinks. And then he just says, no, tomorrow you will not go with the samanas. And then Siddhartha responds, no, tomorrow I will go with the samanas. And then his father pauses for another moment. And his father says, you will disobey your father?
Tomorrow I will disobey my father.
No, he says, no, I will not disobey my father.
I will not.
So what do you make of that? Like, I'm not going to disobey you, but I am going with the samanas. It means that Siddhartha knew that he was going to give his permission. So what happened was his father is thinking about all this. It's weighing on him, and he goes to go to sleep. And he's trying to sleep, and an hour passes, and he can't, because he just can't stop thinking about it. He gets up, and he looks through the window, and he sees Siddhartha standing in the exact same position, right? Like he hasn't budged an inch, like a statue. And he looks at him and says, like he's kind of determined, it looks like. He goes, lies down again an hour later, still can't sleep, comes back. He's still standing there. And throughout the entire night, his father keeps returning. And, now it's like, in the morning time, and the sun's coming up, and he sees Siddhartha still standing there, and like his knees are shaking, but like his determination is absolutely fixed. And then even without having to say, even without Hermann Hesse having to write it, what you get is that the father essentially realized he's already gone, right? He has his own determination.
Sure.
And even if I tried to keep him here, I don't have the same son here anymore.
Right.
He has his desire. I can't touch that. It's so deep within him. Okay, so he says, okay, today you go with the samanas. If you find the bliss that you're looking for, you come back and teach it to me. Now go say goodbye to your mother. And like that, he lets his son go, knowing that he's probably never going to see him again in the rest
This is
of
the
his life.
story of spiritual life. Mara, what does this remind you of? Quick.
I was texting about instructions to charge my car. I'm so sorry. But Narottam Das Thakur.
Yes. Narottam Das Thakur, reading that book, the biography by Sitala.
Yeah, who's going to be
on
our
the
guest?
show
Yeah.
Saturday. Me and Mara and Linda had a great morning with Sitala, and she just talked to us, and it was just such a great conversation. We left higher than we started that conversation, and we convinced her to be on the show this week.
That's great.
Yeah. But we were reading the story of Narottam, same thing.
She wrote a book on it.
Between 12 and 16 years old. They don't know exactly how old he was. And he was a family of a prince.
Yeah.
He was a young prince, son of a king, their only son. And he was just like, I love you. I'm out of here. Waited for a chance to make a break. I've heard about these sages that live in Vrindavan. I've heard about Chaitanya. I am out of here. I know I'm supposed to inherit the kingdom. I know I'm supposed to get all this thing. I know you try to get me married. I'm not interested in any of it. The funny thing is, we used to run away to get into more trouble.
Right.
They ran away to become saints.
Right.
So it's a slightly different.
The parents had a similar reaction?
parents were like heartbroken, but you hear this in a lot of stories, including Siddhartha, but the story of Yogananda, the story of Radha Swami, the story of these people just like on a spiritual journey. They're like, I'm out of here.
Whoa.
It's a magic snap.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
the reason why to circle back to the beginning, we have a desire. Krishna allows us to fulfill the desire, but with that desire, we're choosing to walk into his realm of so-called independence, which he's not going to let us rot away forever in the mediocrity of the material realm. He's programmed within that virtual reality. Programs like time, programs like the law of karma, that mean that we're not just, it's going to be a playground on one hand, but it's going to reform that desire.
Sure.
It's going to reform that desire. And so that's everyone's desire is being fulfilled, but depending on which way you go, there's going to be more that comes with it. And that's, again, another type of blessing, although we may not recognize it.
Yes. That brings us to text 9.
Let's read it.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear son, Prahlāda. So now Lord Vishnu is saying this to Prahlāda. All good fortune unto you. For the time being, please go to the place known as Sutala, and there enjoy happiness with your grandson and your other relatives and friends.
Okay.
Interesting. We can go as a family.
Yeah.
But we can go to heavenly, higher planets, lower planets together. You and me.
All right.
Please go there with Kaustubha and enjoy heavenly delights.
We'll be like, yeah. But he's going to go there too.
Okay. Lord Vishnu's going to be there too.
Yeah.
You're getting the best of both worlds here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead assured Prahlāda Mahārāja, you shall be able to see me there in my usual feature with Mara, quick, 4 things. Linda, 4 things Lord Vishnu holds. Quick. Give me 1. Chakra. Conch.
Nice. Conch.
Conch.
Some people say it like that.
Do they? Conch?
Yeah. Conch.
Uddhava Shloka, what you got? Disc. 1 more. Lotus. Boom. Malini gets it. Okay. The Supreme Personality. Okay.
My usual feature with
conch shell, lotus, disc, and club. Because of your transcendental bliss, due to always personally seeing me, you will have no further bondage to fruitive activities.
It's interesting. In the book, the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam,
yes,
which is fascinating book by Sanatana Goswami. Another book.
I love, cherish that book. Maybe Linda hasn't read that book. Maybe.
Big reader that she is. She probably has, right? So anyway, there's a segment of that book where a person is kind of climbing a ladder of different devotees in their intimacy with God, and each time he reaches the next level, he says, "You must be the most fortunate person that exists."
He says, well, wait a second. Wait till you go to this planet.
Yeah.
I'm nothing compared to. Like, he goes to Hanuman, to Prahlāda, up the spiritual ladder.
Right. So when it gets to Prahlāda's response is like, Lord Vishnu, he kind of appears to me like once, it's like this man-lion incarnation, that he came and then he was gone and I'm without him. You need to talk to, I think what he said was, you need to talk to the Pandavas. Like the Lord just like lives with them, the Lord becomes their messenger. The Lord becomes their servant. The Lord, he stays with them all the time. He travels to be with them and so on. He hardly ever, I never get to see him even. But here, we're hearing oh no, you're getting a special blessing. I'm going to be with you there all the time. You'll see me not as the lion, but you'll see me as Lord Vishnu holding, these 4.
Imagine that. Everywhere you go, you're in line getting prasad. Oh, who's ahead of me?
Lord Vishnu.
Hey, Vishnu.
I got the 4 arms.
You go.
Yes, that's Lord Vishnu.
That's exciting. Okay.
You're going to feel it someday, Raghunath. You're going to feel that.
How do you know I'm not now?
I can tell.
Don't speculate.
I can tell.
Don't speculate. No. No. Don't speculate about me. Sukadeva Goswami said, accompanied by Bali Maharaj, my dear king.
I can tell though.
Prahlāda Mahārāja, master of all chiefs of the demons. Let's try that again.
Okay.
this is Sukadeva Goswami speaking,
Yes.
the narrator,
Yeah.
accompanied by Bali Maharaj, my dear King Cricket. Prahlāda Mahārāja, the master of all the chiefs of the demons, took the Supreme Lord's order on his head with folded hands. That means he's accepted it.
Mhm.
After saying yes to the Lord, circumambulating him and offering respectful obeisances, he entered the lower planetary systems down to Sutala. So there's something's interesting about Sutala. Maybe we have to ask one of those astrophysicist devotees that are here. It's like a
Mhm.
lower heavenly planet where it's like blissful, but I don't understand why they're going there personally.
What do you mean?
They're going to a lower planet.
Well,
Why are they going to a lower planet, not a heaven?
this planet is better than heaven. Like
But it's lower. So it seems like there must
well,
be some
if-
friction
if,
there.
If there's more happening on the third floor than the fifth floor, wouldn't you rather be on the third floor?
Yeah, but why is it a lower planet then? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know if it has. I don't know.
Or
It's
maybe
all
I'm trying to
relative.
figure
If you
things
turn
out.
upside down, it's higher.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out with my linear brain.
Yeah, right.
Perhaps that's it.
Perhaps that's the problem.
Text 13. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, they're addressed Sukracharya.
Thereafter, address Shukracharya.
So Sukracharya is the guru of the demons.
Now, this is interesting, right? Because Shukracharya was a person that was just trying to shut this whole thing down from the beginning.
Hmm.
Shukracharya was saying, don't surrender to Lord Vishnu, Bali.
Yeah.
He's going to cheat you. Every material acquisition that we fought so hard for, he's going to take it all away from you with his trickery. Don't fall for it.
Hmm.
Now, Lord Vishnu, you would think someone would come back and say, hey, guy, thanks for giving that really crummy advice. You really don't like me, huh?
Hmm.
But Lord Vishnu, he's not he doesn't have the issues that we have.
Can we say Sukracharya is a pure devotee?
No.
Or- You can't, because he's like a Sukra means coming from the seminal succession, doesn't it?
Yes, which could be interpreted to meaning that he doesn't necessarily have certain qualifications.
He comes
right?
by his birth. He's the Acharya by that birth.
Yeah, I
like
mean-
born in a Brahmin family, not necessarily qualified with a spiritual understanding.
Yeah, he's definitely qualified on a material level. He was kind of bringing slayed demons back to life with his.
Yeah, so he's got some
Yeah,
something
he's
interesting.
He's a serious character for sure.
Yeah.
So let's hear what Lord Vishnu has to say to him.
Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, thereafter addressed Sukracharya, who was sitting nearby in the midst of the assembly with the priests. O Maharaj Pricket, these priests were all Brahmavadis, followers of the Vedic principles for performing sacrifices.
Okay.
O best of the Brahman Sukracharya, please describe the fault or discrepancy in your disciple Bali Maharaj, who engaged in performing sacrifices. This fault will be nullified when judged in the presence of a qualified Brahmin.
I didn't even know what he's getting up to here.
Yeah,
It's,
Sukracharya's.
I mean, you have to picture the situation again. Shukracharya told Bali, don't play this game. Don't cooperate with Vishnu. He's trying to cheat you.
He's trying to trick you.
Bali did exactly the opposite, ignored Shukracharya's order. For a while, it looked really bad for Bali, right?
Everybody was turning on him.
His guru turned on him, his people turned on him. In a sense, his wife kind of turned on him, although she was.
He says,
for him.
I'm going to lose everything. And you know what? That's Lord Vishnu's desire.
lose
And
it.
I just
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah. But then what happened was Lord Brahma, who's like kind of higher than all the demons and the devas, spoke on Bali's behalf. And then Vishnu said, actually, everything I was doing here and everything I was saying was kind of, it was kind of like a test, or it was really there to show how great you are. And he's released. And now he's saying, I'm going to give you the entire universe. First, I'm going to give it back to Indra. But after some time, it's all going to be yours. But until then, you're going to go to a place where I'm going to be there with you, and it's going to be far better than anything else in this universe. And so now Shukracharya has just seen all that. Like Bali benefited from not listening to you, Shukracharya. And now Vishnu says, tell me, you seem to have a problem with your disciple. Why don't you explain what that problem is?
So here's what Sukracharya is going to say. My lord, you are the enjoyer and the lawgiver in all performances of sacrifice, And you are always the yagya purusha, the
Enjoyer.
enjoyer of the yagya,
Yeah.
the sacrifice. The person to whom all sacrifices are offered. If one has fully satisfied you, there is the chance.
Where is the chance?
Where is the chance of discrepancies or faults in his performance of sacrifice? Sounds like
Okay.
Shukracharya is saying you made a good choice.
It sounds like he's saying, yeah,
You got me.
You got me. You're right. I was wrong, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulative principles. And moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, and person and paraphernalia. But when your lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless.
That is very interesting to hear it from him. Now he is there kind of as a you asked, is he a pure devotee?
Now he's speaking like a pure devotee.
He's
You might
speaking-
want to
Well,
take that back.
No, I don't want to take it back.
Because that could be an offense if he is. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, making offenses.
Here's-
Not good.
here-
Holy
here-
Dom, not
Here-
good.
Here's my point, is that he's here in Bhagavatam as someone that has tremendous, on the level of karma kunda, on the level of the Vedic instructions, he's very capable.
Mhm.
If you can chant mantras and bring dead people back to life, you're pretty capable.
But that's sort of a material, mystical, wonderful thing.
Exactly.
But it's not necessarily,
And he's here as a representative of someone that's very advanced at that.
yeah.
Right. And he's saying, because this is what Bhagavatam is, practically the message of the Bhagavatam, that all of these other texts, they're valid, but they're building to a higher, deeper message, which is ultimately culminates in divine love. So he's saying that someone, there's all these important considerations when you're performing material activity, even the Vedic material activities. You have to say the mantra just right. What did he say? Discrepancies regarding time, place, the person, the paraphernalia. Was it
Got
all
the wrong paraphernalia.
You got the wrong paraphernalia.
I used a metal spoon, got to use a wooden spoon.
Yeah, it says copper spoon, not
Copper spoon. You put in coconut oil. You got to put ghee in there.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So all of
You gotta
those.
use neem wood. You use some crazy wood.
Yes,
Pine.
yes. So there can be there's so much potential for faults.
Hmm.
But when it comes to bhakti, when one chants the Lord's name for no material purpose,
Hmm.
but when divine love is the only goal, then it becomes faultless. And again, we're brought back to, like our nugget, where we're discussing that it's not perfection that you need here in this, right?
Good boy.
You
went full
Thank
circle
you.
with that. Very nice thing.
Thank
Brought it
you.
right back to the
A little tap on the
old-
head there. Right?
Boy,
Good boy.
boom, boom. Gonna open your third eye while I'm at it.
Whoa. but it's not about perfection. It's not about
Mm.
that kind of in a sense, when you get to the level of bhakti, those details become trivial. It's not what touches the heart of the Supreme, who's the ultimate controller. What touches him is that sincerity. We read yesterday how Bali, when he first saw Lord Vishnu, within his heart, he wanted to express his love by bowing down, right? And he was thinking, my guru's here. He's against this. All the demons, my whole lineage, all my people, they're all against this. I want to do it, but I can't do it. And yet Vishnu blessed him anyway, because he knew that in his heart he wanted to do it, even though he didn't do it. So this is part of the idea of what is so special about bhakti, is it's because it's this highest principle, everything else is relaxed. Everything else is inessential. If you get to that most essential point of actually, feeling love, expressing love, serving with love, nothing else is significant. All right.
Are you saying love is the only significant thing?
Well, in one sense, yes.
Yeah, not in one sense. In
Well, I mean,
every
the
sense.
only, okay, in every
I
sense.
set you up for that. To say,
Yeah,
yeah,
yes.
it's all about love.
Okay. The love guru. We're gonna.
Text 16. Text 17. Lord Vishnu, I must nonetheless act in obedience to your order, because obeying your order is most auspicious and is the first duty of everyone.
I would be really interested. He was just saying something very opposite to that not
A
long
moment ago.
Yeah, I would be really interested. Maybe we should read some of these commentaries, but it would be interesting to see, did he have a change of heart, or is he just kind of like, in the circumstances, he feels this is what he must say?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Text 18. Sukadeva Goswami continued. In this way, the most powerful Sukracharya accepted the order of the personality of Godhead with full respect. Along with the Brahmins, he began to compensate for the discrepancies in the sacrifice performed by Bali Maharaj. O King Pricket, thus having taken all the land of Bali Maharaj by begging the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vamanadev delivered to his brother Indra all the land taken away by Indra's enemy. Lord Brahma, the master of King Daksha and all the Prajapatis, accompanied by all the demigods, the great saintly persons, the inhabitants of Pitriloka, right, that's the forefather planet, the Manus, those are the fathers of mankind, the Munis,
Great thinkers.
and such leaders as Daksha, Brigu, and Angira, as well as Kartikeya and Lord Shiva, accepted Lord Vamanadev as the protector of everyone. He did this for the pleasure of Kashyapa Muni and his wife Aditi, and for the welfare of all the inhabitants of the universe, including their various leaders.
Okay. So many things are accomplished, right? All these people were kind of sitting on the sidelines when Bali had taken everything over. And now they're all, we don't get an exact timeline, how long they were kind of sidelined like that. But now they're all taking their positions back. We're going back to the beginning of the story where Kashyapa Muni came and saw his wife and said, I was away for a while, how you doing? And she was obviously distraught. Why was she distraught? Because all of her sons, the Devas, had been removed from their positions.
Yeah, it's like they're all laid off.
They're
It's
all,
got that, like,
they're hiding, actually.
Yeah.
They're more like in exile. And so she was given this Payovrata, this elaborate ritual to perform for the purpose of Lord Vishnu saving her sons. And he went above and beyond the call, came as her own son, and now he's returned them all to their rightful positions.
All right. That's our time. We have time for one more?
Why not?
O King, Indra was considered the king of all the universes. Of all the universe. But the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, wanted Lord Vamanadev as the protector of the Vedas, the principles of dharma, fame, opulence, auspiciousness, vows, elevation to the higher planetary system, and liberation. Thus, they accepted Vamanadev as the supreme master of everything. This decision made all living entities extremely happy.
Interesting.
So
he kind of owned some of Indra's responsibility, I guess. It's a little hard to figure that out.
Or are they just declaring him the leader?
He's the, yeah.
They've
all seen him now, right? They've all seen him in this unique form. Okay.
Thereafter, along with all the leaders of the heavenly planets, Indra, the king of heaven, placed Lord Vamanadev before him and, with the approval of Lord Brahma, brought him to the heavenly planets in a celestial aeroplane.
Okay.
Indra, the king of heaven, being protected by the arms of Vamanadev, the supreme personality of Godhead, thus regained his rule of the three worlds and was reinstated in his own position, supremely opulent, fearless, and fully satisfied.
Wow.
Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Kartikeya, the great sage Brigu, and other saintly persons, the inhabitants of Pitriloka, and all other living entities present, including the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, and living entities who travel in outer space by airplane, all glorified the uncommon activities of Lord Vamanadev. O King, while chanting about and glorifying the Lord, they returned to the prospective heavenly planets. They also praise the position of Aditi.
She's the mother of the Lord, right?
By the way, do you think they can see, we could see those airplanes? Or are they so subtle we can't perceive of them, or you have to become qualified to see them? What's your speculative?
I would imagine certainly there must be ones that we can't see, and I'd imagine there's a chance
Probably
that
some we
maybe
could
some
see.
that we could, yeah.
Yeah, I guess if like lower beings, there must be some
Or if they want to reveal themselves.
flunkier beings that could, yeah. There is a yogic perfection called Deva Darshana, where you can actually see the devas.
Deva Darshan.
That'd be cool.
I have it, actually.
I have it, and I know you don't because I do. Because you can't see, or else you'd see very many people in this room right now.
Okay.
Yep. He doesn't know. Okay. Okay. Mara, it's time for Miss Mara to come on board. Mara, give us some takeaways. How are you? How's your day?
Good.
Yeah. Like, what was the highlight of your day?
Probably talking to Sitala.
Talking to Sitala Devi. That was very.
Ganeshwar's baby's really a sweet baby.
What do we chop liver over here?
I mean, our team meeting.
Kind of
was
do this a
also
lot.
highlight.
Our team meeting today was real good. All right, Mara. Yeah, what you got? Something good?
We all feel the same bliss before the deities.
Yeah.
No, we do. No, we all don't.
All feel bliss.
No, you don't. Some don't. Some are just like, what's going on?
To the next takeaway. Spiritual connection breaks down our divisions.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
No, I'm just saying that because we don't all feel blessed. Some people are just like, why am I here?
No, but in the context that we were speaking, we're all in there together. We're all feeling the same bliss.
Chopper's there, the nurse is there, the doctor.
Nurse.
Well, if you're in spiritual consciousness, you feel the bliss in front of the deities,
Yes, that's right.
right?
That's,
I didn't want to
thank
make
you
it too
for
long.
clarifying that.
Funky.
Yeah,
Grace meets you where you're at.
that's right. No, it doesn't.
I think that's a safe one to agree with. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. When the holy name is chanted, everything is faultless.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's all building to a higher message of divine love.
The takeaways have kind of turned into a hot seat today.
It's not about perfection. It's about sincerity.
Wrong. Just kidding. That is a good
That was imperfect.
Dearly.
That's luckily you were sincere.
Get to the most essential thing. Love and the details are insignificant.
Oh,
Okay, I like that.
you're saying that love is the only significant thing?
Vishnu knows what's in our heart.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
And going to temple isn't weird.
Okay.
No, it's not weird. It's not weird. Come join us. It's fun. It's normal here.
So how often do you go over there?
So how often? Temple?
How often do you bring my children to that unusual temple over there?
Oh yeah. How many times a day? How many times a week? I don't want to sound like a fanatic, but 4 times a day. Thanks
would
everybody
be
for joining
funny.
us. Thank you, everybody. This week, 5:30. What time is it there? 6:30 a.m.
Eastern time.
We're there for you. And, we got a good live crew. Who we got here? We got Laura Logic here from X-Ray Specs and her new record. What's your new record called, Laura? Okay, we want everybody to go to Spotify and look up Laura Logic, Land of Kali. Land of Kali. It's on Spotify. It's by Essential Logic. Okay, go to Spotify.
Everybody's
Can
looking
you
back
guys hear
already.
me? Okay. We'll put it in the show notes. Go to Laura Logic Essential. Wait, no.
Essential Logic.
Essential Logic is the band.
All right.
Thank you. Age of Kali is the name of the record.
Not Age of Kali Land.
Land of Kali. Yeah, everyone's doing it right now.
This is the guy that's seeing the Davis floating around in the room right now.
What is your Instagram? Okay, or Laura. How do you spell Laura? L-O-R-A? L-O-R-A.logic. Follow her on Instagram. But she's old punker from the 70s. 76.
That's old school.
Played sax in X-Ray Specs when she was 15 years old. She came to our kirtan the other night. That was nice. It was nice that you came. We enjoyed having you. You brought your lovely family here. Good. And you're welcome to come. And we're looking forward to getting to know you more.
Big kirtan tonight. Temple.
Big kirtan tonight. You go?
Definitely.
All right.
How about you?
I'm going to have some dinner. And then I might go.
Okay. We'll be in bliss together there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you, people. It is a beautiful day, every beautiful day. Let the magic continue to flow in a Maha Haribo.